All right, we're joined now by the winners of Game 4 in the Blacksburg Regional, the Virginia Tech Hokies. To my left is head coach John Sheff, student athletes Nick Biddison, Jack Hurley, and Tanner Schobel. Coach, if you would please kick us off with an opening statement, then we'll do questions.
Yeah, obviously a really good night for our guys. You know, it's very rare to see a score like that in an NCAA tournament game, but, you know, our guys played really well, and so I'm just kind of happy that, obviously, with the outcome and the fact that our guys have put themselves in a really good position to come out here and win a regional tomorrow at home. It's a very rare thing, and something we won't take for granted, and we'll be ready to go tomorrow. And just happy that the outcome was what it was tonight.
Guys, congratulations. For each of the guys, just tell us what it was like to be in that fourth inning there where you're scoring 14 runs and batting around twice. Just kind of what was it like to be at bat in that inning and to be talking in the dugout in that inning? What was that experience like for you guys?
I think it started off, their starter was pretty good, very similar to the UNC guy. And, you know, once we started scoring that many runs, it's really exciting. We were excited to get a couple across to start, and then it just kept piling on. Anytime we score that many runs in one inning, it's very exciting.
I think everybody just kind of stuck to their game plan throughout each at-bat and stuck to their approach of what the pitcher threw, and just kind of like sticking to the game plan is how kind of we scored a lot of runs and kept the momentum going.
Yeah, the goal was just to get into the bullpen as early as we could, and once we did that, I think we were pretty comfortable with what we were going to get. But yeah, we just stuck to the game plan like Tanner said.
I mean, that 14-run inning, did that surprise even yourselves at what you were able to pull off in that inning, or has this season been, so good from a hitting perspective that it wasn't that big a shock to you that what you were able to pull off there?
I don't think you really expect a 14-run inning, but I don't think it's too much of a surprise at the same time. Like, it's just one of those things that probably happens once in however long, really.
Aaron McFarling with the Roanoke Times. John, once the game is where it is, after that fourth inning, sort of what was your thought process about what to do with rest or pitching and all those things?
Well, you're obviously trying to keep the game as wide as possible and, try to get some strategic guys out of the game. Like the first guy we obviously talked about was our catcher, Cade Hunter, because he's caught an awful lot. We wanted to try to get him out, to rest him as much as we could. And then, we're trying to manage it from a pitching perspective a little bit too, where we get guys in the game, but obviously look ahead to tomorrow. We're trying to not use guys that most likely would pitch tomorrow, whether it be as a starter or out of the bullpen. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a juggling act, but, it's not that hard. So, yeah, I'll tell you.
Tanner, first and foremost, happy birthday. Obviously, I don't know if you've had any birthdays that have gone this well in your life to date, but given the quiet night that you had last night against Wright State, what enabled you to kind of have this kind of big bounce back night, 3 RBIs, 3 for 4 at the plate, reaching base in 5-6 appearances?
Yeah, so, well, thank you for happy birthday, I appreciate that. Yeah, so like after a bad game, you just can't let it affect how you play the next couple games, especially in a regional. You can't let one game affect your whole outcome. So it's like hitting in defense. Like if you have a bad at-bat, you can't carry out into the field, or if you make an error, you can't carry it into your next at-bat. It's just kind of flushing the bad stuff and just keep moving forward.
And then, just generally on the season, batting 370 range with all the home runs and RBIs, the Golden Spikes Award semifinalist nomination. What's enabled you to kind of take a big step forward from your first full season last year in Blacksburg to this year?
I think it's mostly just sticking to a game plan and being more patient than last year. I think last year I kind of got excited and was just trying to do too much for my role. And I think this year I've kind of adapted into my role and just not try to do too much, but just stay within myself.
And then this might be a question for all 4 of you guys, but you guys had 17 baseballs that were hit over 100 miles an hour, 14 went for hits. I mean, what makes this lineup so special night in, night out?
Just got guys top to bottom. I mean, looking at the stat sheet, I'm not even really sure who came in. I think we used everybody off the bench, but Garrett Giebel, I mean, I think he might have 20 at-bats on the whole year, and he hits a home run. We have guys really top to bottom that most of the guys you guys haven't even seen take at-bats yet. And I just think that, having all of us on one offense is very dangerous. And we're encouraged, like Coach Elvin wants us to hit the ball hard, swing hard, and that's what happens.
And then,
you want to take that one too? Sure. Yeah, like if you look at our lineup top to bottom, there's guys that can hit the ball. I mean, pretty much everybody can hit above 100. So if you do that as many times as you can, it's probably going to be a pretty good night.
and then what was it like playing in front of that crowd? I mean, even in the 7th, 8th inning, they're chanting, ball 5, ball 6. I mean, they're still into it when you guys are up by 20-some runs. I mean, what's that like playing in front of that crowd?
I think that's just a reason why you come to Virginia Tech. Is just the community is so supportive of their athletes regardless of the sport. Like if you guys have been to a football game here, you can see how crazy it gets. The softball regional that was hosted here, it was crazy, it was nuts. And so I think that's just another reason why you come to Virginia Tech is to play in front of crowds like that, especially with all the support that comes with it.
For Tanner and Nick, going back to that big inning there, Tanner, take us through what do you remember about the big 3 RBI double you had to kind of start things off in that inning, and then Nick, what do you recall about your inside the park home run?
Yeah, so I got into a two-strike count, so I was just trying to simplify, and he had thrown an inside fastball for the second strike that I took, and so I figured I took it. I probably looked like I wasn't ready for it, so I figured he'd probably gonna come back with it. And so I was just sitting on a fastball on the inner half of the plate. And so thank goodness he kind of threw it there, and I just kind of put a good swing on it, and then the rest is kind of history.
And then, for the home run, I think somebody was on third. So I knew all I had to do was put the ball in the air. I put a pretty good swing on it, got a little under it, and then I looked up and saw the left fielder kind of holding his hands up like he didn't know where the ball was. And, Coach Hanson's in my ear, go, 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 go. So I just started running. And once I kind of hit second and I saw the ball drop and the kid was probably 50 feet away from it, I kind of knew I was going to score. And I never had a home run like that. So it was pretty exciting and the place was going crazy. And then to slam the hammer on that, it's not what it's intended for, but it's still a home run in the book. So we had to do it.
Jack, as a left fielder here, I guess, obviously their left fielder, I think 3 times that inning, lost the ball in the lights. I mean, has that ever happened to you here, I guess? Were you feeling any sympathy pains for the kid?
Nah, I wasn't feeling any sympathy pains for him. But yeah, no, left field here is pretty tough. The wind's going always. The sky, I don't think I've had too much of a problem, knock on wood, but I don't knock on wood. But no, it's not. It hasn't been too much of a factor this year. Hopefully we keep that going.
Jack, were you guys perusing your exit velocities when you sat down earlier?
Yeah, they like send this thing out like after the games where you can like check the exit velocities and stuff, but I don't know. It's just something we like to look at.
I was going to say, is that a fun activity for this team usually?
Yeah, I think like you can kind of pride yourself off of hitting the ball as hard as you can. A lot of guys do it, so we get a lot of chances to look at that stuff.
It's bragging rights, too.
It's a big competition.
Question in the back of the room.
I just need a scout on Gonzaga, what you guys have seen from them the past 2 days, and I guess specifically if you've seen anything different from them from game 1 to game 2.
I can't really say anything different. The only thing different, obviously, is the arms that they threw today. But, I mean, they're good. They're seated where they are for a reason. They if you look at their schedule, they played a really good schedule on the West Coast against some pretty strong Pac-12 teams. So whether we play them or whether we play Columbia, I think we all know it'll be a battle of some sort, as it was today until that big inning. And yesterday was the same way. So, obviously tonight was a really good night for us, but come tomorrow, it'll just be time to move on. you know, and regardless of who we play, I'm sure it'll be a good game. So.
Yeah, for the guys, just in general, being on such a good hitting team this year, was there a certain point in the year where you realized, oh, okay, this lineup is something special? I've never been part of a lineup this good. And I guess what is it like during the course of the year? Is it pretty competitive amongst you, like you guys just referenced, or is it more just everyone's just enjoying being part of a stacked lineup like that? What's this year been like for you guys?
I think I knew that we had a pretty special lineup just from the get-go of how our preseason went, how our fall went. Just seeing the guys that are in our lineup, how successful they've been in the past too, is kind of how I knew we were going to have something special this season. I mean, if you look at our statistics early on, we were averaging like over 9 runs a game. So I don't think many other teams were really doing that. So that's also another reason I thought we were pretty special. But I think it's just from sticking to a good approach, just from what Coach Elvin has in our hitters meetings, and just the preparation we do.
Jack, you're another guy who's kind of taken a big jump this year from your first to second season, hitting now 378 after your 3 for 6 night. What's enabled you to kind of take that big step forward this season in your second year with the Hokies?
I think it's probably mostly just experience and getting reps under my belt, and then just sticking to the same routine every day, trying to do the same stuff. And really just like being in the ACC last year as a freshman, just learning from all the failure that I had last year and then bringing it into this year and trying to like make the change for the better.
And then, John, what have you seen from both Jack and Tanner that's enabled them to, one, take the big step forward that they have, and secondly, have big games like they had tonight in a postseason environment?
Well, number one, I think they're good enough to make a jump like that. They're both, I think they'll both play the game for a long time when they leave college and get paid to play as a pros. But I think to Jack's point, they both played every day as freshmen. So their experience they have a lot of it. They were kind of thrown into the fire last year and had a lot of successes, had some failures, and, went through some growing pains. And I think, they're seeing the fruits of their labor right now as we are as a team.